Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. There are 5 million Americans living with Alzheimer's, and by 2050, the number of patients could triple to 15 million Americans with Alzheimer's without effective treatment, according to information collected from the Alzheimer's Association. Alzheimer's is a disease that's very near and dear to my heart. My grandmother is suffering from Alzheimer's, and I also work as a recreational therapist with older adults that have this terrible disease. This is a disease that affects my life every single day. I hope through this speech I'll be able to give you an idea of what Alzheimer's is, how it's caused, the symptoms, treatments, and prevention. So, what is Alzheimer's? Alzheimer's is a type of dementia that causes problems with memory, thinking, and behavior. While some sort of dementia or memory loss is common as people age, many people believe that Alzheimer's is normal as well, but it's not. Alzheimer's is a disease and is not a normal part of aging. The National Institute of Aging reports that the exact cause of Alzheimer's is unknown, but overall it's the death over time of neurons within the brain. In order for our bodies to function, nerves have to work properly. There are two main causes of nerve damage and death in the brain of people with Alzheimer's. These include plaques and tangles. In this, you can see the normal brain, there's nothing. But on here, there's plaques and tangles within and around the neurons. Basically, the plaques and tangles are proteins located within and around the nerve cells. The exact cause is unknown, but somehow these proteins build up in people with Alzheimer's and affect the communication from nerve to nerve, and ultimately cause the neurons to die. Over time, this continues to happen, affecting different parts of the brain. It's sad to say, but eventually Alzheimer's reaches most parts of the brain, killing neurons and taking away bit by bit who the person is and what they're able to do. In this picture, you can see a healthy brain, and over time, in advanced Alzheimer's, the person's brain has shrunk because of death of neurons. Now that you have a better understanding of what Alzheimer's is, we're going to discuss the symptoms and treatments options available. The most well-known symptom of Alzheimer's that we've all heard of is the lost ability to remember newly earned information, since the disease starts in the area of the brain where new information is processed. Over time, as the disease progresses, the tangles and plaques move to other parts of the brain, affecting and taking away the function controlled by that area. Eventually, the patient with Alzheimer's loses their ability to remember things, process new information, control their own bathroom use, can no longer take care of themselves, cannot walk, can't talk, and eventually their brain shuts down where they can't breathe. Alzheimer's eventually will shut down the brain completely, killing the person. Currently, there's not a treatment that stops Alzheimer's completely, but there are medicines that can slow the progression of the disease. According to the Mayo Clinic, there are two types of medicines used to slow the progression: cholinesterase inhibitors and memantine. Cholinesterase inhibitors boost levels of cell-to-cell contact within the brain, and memantine works in another communication system within the brain and can be used with patients with moderate to severe progression. A lot of times these are used simultaneously to help the patient and relieve other symptoms of the disease as well. While Alzheimer's is a terrible disease to have, there are ways to help prevent it and to live with Alzheimer's that slows the progression of the illness. So for prevention, there are some ways to prevent Alzheimer's, but ultimately it's a hereditary disease. There are ways such as puzzles and continuing to stimulate the brain throughout life that can prolong the onset of Alzheimer's, but at the end of the day, we can't choose whether we get it or not. Working as a recreational therapist, I've had a lot of experience in enriching the lives of older adults with Alzheimer's. It's vital that people living with the disease still feel as though they have a purpose in life. Giving people with Alzheimer's meaningful activities such as sorting objects, having some sort of chore that they're responsible for doing, doing activities that they've done for a long time and are really good at, can all make living with the disease easier. Also, according to the Mayo Clinic, people living with Alzheimer's need to live their day-to-day life with routines. This is definitely accurate and something that we do in our workplace every single day. Exercise and eating healthy are also ways to make someone living with Alzheimer's easier. Overall, this illness is terrible. While it's a sad disease, knowing about Alzheimer's is very beneficial. I hope that through this speech you were able to get a glimpse of what this terrible disease is. Knowing someone with Alzheimer's can change your life, and I hope that if you come into contact with someone living with this disease, you'll take what you've learned from this speech and try to make their life easier. Thank you.